Alta says, good day, coach. Please, what are the best stocks to buy as a beginner? As a beginner in this community, I always advise the best stock to buy is knowledge. Know what you want to do before ever parting with your money. And so, that way you can really also have your own personal strategy and not depend on someone else's strategy that may be different from yours, right? So if you ask me, if you tell me you already have a little bit of knowledge, then that's fine. I will go on to look for stocks to buy for beginners, but again, what type of a beginner? Are you beginning like myself when I started as a young boy waiting for admission in the university, but curious enough about making legitimate wealth to the extent I discovered the stock market? If so, then we proceed with picking stocks for you like you do not really have a regular income, and of course you are depending on one pocket money here and there from which you saved. As a beginner adult who is already working and has sufficient resources to keep going monthly basis or weekly basis, depending on how often you receive your salary, or you are a beginner who is already an adult in business and has accumulated some level of money that you are now thinking of diversifying your investment assets into stocks, we need to know. This is why I like my sessions to be interactive, so that we can discuss your matter particularly tailor-made for you, right? To Chuku's case, Honorable Nosakare Ozi Eke, thank you for joining over on Instagram. Frisky Fresh, appreciate your presence on Instagram. And also, I see Hawa Balami there. Good afternoon to you, Ebizo. Appreciate. Please, sir, what of Etana PLC stock? Hold on. That's from Hawa Bulami. Let me see what's happening with the market right now. It's a moment where we should be cautious what we buy and be very, very tactical. We have entered the season of tactical investing in the Nigerian market because a whole lot is going on that could cause confusion, and if you are not careful with what you are doing, you could lose money very early, right? Whatever stock you are buying now, please don't go in for short term yet, okay? This is a general word of advice. With the way the market is going now, punishing stocks that are not doing well in their financial results being released, or even after having a very good financial year 2024, any stock that is not paying very good dividend is going to be punished by the market right now. There's no herd mentality of all stocks rising like we experienced between January and February. So you have to be cautious what you are buying. And then of course, I am personally looking for the opportunities in those very fantastic stocks that may have decided not to pay too much out, and so the market is punishing, yet the business is solid. An opportunity to buy them very low if the market punishes them well enough. So this is my own strategy for this moment. And then of course, in the process of a dull market, some stocks may eventually become so attractive, whether or not they are going under any kind of market correction or not, right? Okay. Coach, you know good fashion. Your color combinations is superb. God bless. Mr. Clean, you sound like my type. And you know what they say about birds of the same feather? They flock together. All right. Bishop is asking, how can I invest in foreign stocks? Which one is best? Bishop, please confirm your location so we can be able to tell while I check on Etana for Hawa Balami. Let's see what's happening in the market at the moment. A stock like Etana Oil. Just a moment. Yeah, there you go. Etana Oil is currently losing. It closed yesterday at 35 naira 85 kobo, but what we have here is it's dropped to 32 naira 90 kobo. And from the bid and offer analysis I'm seeing here, Eternal Oil has 199,000 bids versus 1.2 million offers, meaning there are too many Eternal Oil offered in the market at the moment, while there are far fewer bids. And the market is ruled by the general economic principle of demand and supply mechanism. When the demand for a particular stock is very high, the price tends to appreciate. When the supply is far more than the demand, the price depreciates. So from what we have for Eternal, we have 1.2 million being offered for sale. The supply is very high compared to less than 200,000 bidded for. And that is why you can easily tell that the price dropped from 35 to 32 at the moment. Two things might have been in place. Maybe Eternal Oil's result is out and the market is not impressed, or they declared a dividend that is not acceptable by the expectations of the entire market. So holders are dumping at the moment. And if you have an interest in Eternal, that's question number one. Question number two, are you really going to go against the market and still buy? If so, then hold on and see how low it falls. With this current bid and offer status, if you buy now, you are most likely going to lose money going forward. So you want to wait and see how low it drops, because currently at 32 naira per share, some people bought at 21, 22 naira. And those are the people who are most likely to sell almost immediately they see any information that is not very, very suitable for them. So that's the position with Eternal Oil, okay? Okay, it's Skyway Aviation. All right. I see Skyway Aviation is actually the natural competitor with NACO, but you can see the difference in quality in terms of performance reflected in the share prices. So let's go and see what Skyway Aviation is at the moment. I know they are not very, very good, but not bad as well. So what's the current position now? Well, their 40-something naira valuation is nothing to compare with their results. I don't think their result is good enough. I'm seeing that it's now at 46 naira. It closed yesterday at 46 naira 50 kobo. Currently 41 naira 85 kobo. So it's dropped, and as we speak, bid and offer status is showing that there is no bid whatsoever, whereas there are 506,000 shares on offer. So no one is interested with a bid currently, and there's over 500,000 shares on offer, meaning the stock is being rejected at the moment. And that's why it has lost maximum for the day from 46 naira 50 kobo, currently at 41 naira 80 kobo, yet no buyer in the market at the moment. What has happened with Skyway Aviation is that every time NACO moves up for its good performance, people turn to the next in that same sector. I've told you the same with between Fidelity and FCMB. When Fidelity goes out of reach, people try to find a way to compensate themselves by grabbing FCMB, even if the stock is not performing well. So it is more like a ripple effect or a sympathy play with NACO, talking about Sky Aviation. So you want to be careful to know exactly where you're putting your money and not just play sympathy play for sympathy's sake, because finally judgment day comes, and if the stock didn't do well, no matter how high, it has risen because its other peer in the same industry is rising. it's going to crash. So what we're experiencing now is reality setting in Sky Aviation. The build and rise, stay away from Sky Aviation at the moment. But one good thing about market corrections like this or punishments like this is that sometimes the market overreacts and over punishes a stock, and then that presents a fantastic opportunity for discerning investors like you and I in this community. I'm looking at a stock like USCN and I'm patiently waiting for how terribly the market will react against it. Now let's take a look at USCN also, because the case of USCN is very, very unique, and most of us in this community might just strike gold with it. These are things that other people who talk about this, the stock market and all these things, may not see. But I've seen this long ago, and I'm just watching keenly to see how low it is punched. So today, USCN continues to be beaten, and currently it's at 29 naira 5 kobo. So it came down below 30 naira as predicted yesterday, but interest is beginning to build up. Remember, yesterday USCN was on full bid and there was nobody interested in buying with the loads of offers. But as we speak, even though it closed at 31 naira 95 kobo yesterday and selling currently at 29.05, USCN has about 646,000 bids. So the punishment is not lasting as long as I would have wished, because the longer it lasts, the lower it gets, and the lower it goes, the more beautiful the bargain. Currently, there are 1.7 million offered for USCN for sale, whereas there are just 646,000. Yesterday, there was no bid whatsoever. Now, 646,000 bids. The highest bidder is putting in at 29 naira 5 kobo. The lowest price it can get to today is 29 naira. So we've seen some sales go on at 29 naira 5 kobo, and about 1.5 million shares have been traded. So some wise investors are now taking position, thinking maybe it may not fall below this 29.05 or 29 that we are seeing today. We watch and see. Somebody may be curious and asking, what's really the matter with UACN? Why is it being punished? They had a fantastic result. All of the metrics, revenue, profit before tax, profit after tax, earnings per share, all went up, increased. And even earnings per share went as high as over 4 naira per share. The annoyance with the market is that out of the 4 naira plus that USCN made, they paid out only 22 kobo. The same 22 kobo they paid last year. Perhaps people expected a payout of at least 1 naira per share. But because I know the history of USCN in the last couple of years, where they went into trouble and had to change management, got a new set of people who have come to revamp the business and brought it back into profitability. And that process took almost 4 years to establish, because they were now running into losses at that time. They had to spin off some of the businesses, divest from all the distractions and focus on the core business. You know, they are a fast-moving consumer goods manufacturer. So in the end, they are back to profitability. The question now is, should they pay out too much and still be left bare boned? And the management decided to take the hardest decision of paying out very little out of the 4 naira plus that they made. Now, the positive is that USCN eventually has over 40 billion naira cash reserve. That's what happens when a company continues to build their cash reserve. So internally and health-wise, the stock is healthier than ever, but the market is just reacting because of dividend. So we plan to take position in this and over a long period make a lot of money from our investments. You know, cash reserve is how you used to know the biggest companies in the world. And I'll show you an instance for the US companies with the biggest cash reserve, so you have an idea. You know, this session is so practical, you don't want to miss it. And we have now decided that we'll be uploading the live sessions on YouTube. So after today, hopefully today's session will be uploaded as well, right? Okay, so I was going to show you something about the companies with the largest cash reserve in the US market, right? Now, here we go, just give me a moment. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to put this down, especially those who have interest in following the US market, take a look at this. The largest, currently as we speak, the companies with the largest cash reserve. And having cash reserve is like being amongst the wealthiest people in the world, right? You always have cash to do anything. You always have cash to respond to any economic hardship that arises. So it's more like the richest companies in physical cash waiting in the bank. There is no better way to determine the health of a company than checking what their cash reserve is. Because in the hardest of times, those are the companies that survive. The advantage of having cash reserve is that it enables you to invest, diversify, grow the business without necessarily borrowing. Also, cash reserve helps you to participate in mergers and acquisition of other companies, right? So watch and see the biggest. Number one, Berkshire Hathaway. You know that Warren Buffett's company, the stock price is almost about $700 and something thousand per share. One. Berkshire Hathaway has a cash on hand of about $334 billion. Cash sitting in their hand right now. Just as we're trying to now grow our net worth, in the process, we can be able to, make cash available for immediate expenses. That's it. Berkshire has $334 billion cash, breathing somewhere, waiting to take advantage of opportunities. Number two on the list, Amazon. Amazon, number two, with $104.7 billion cash. Now, if you saw my story on TikTok and Instagram yesterday, you would have seen where I posted something about Amazon now also trying to buy TikTok. Hello, TikTokers. Amazon is interested in your app. They want to buy it. They are trying to bid to take over TikTok and to add to their business. And we are talking about hundreds of billions, right? So it takes a company with sufficient cash reserve to do this. Remember, the US government is trying to ban TikTok, and one of the conditions for it not to be banned is that an American company buys it over. So the deadline is approaching, and so Amazon yesterday submitted their bid for the purchase of TikTok. Clean, very true. Yes, I posted it yesterday, and it will interest you to know that they are the second largest cash holders in the US market. Number three, Google. They have about $95.66 billion in cash. Number four, Meta Platforms. You know, the owners of Facebook, Instagram, and what have you. They have about $78 billion in cash. All of these companies hold far more money than some banks. And this is the first bank on the list. It is 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5 on the list is a bank. $71.85 billion. Charles Schwab Corporation. If you are conversant with American institutions, you will know Charles Schwab. Number 6 on the list, Microsoft, right? Microsoft has a cash reserve of $68 billion. Then a stockbroking firm is number 7, Interactive Brokers. They are a U.S. brokerage firm, stockbrokers. They are also listed. So a stockbroking firm can also get listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. I've not shared these ideas with our dear Atlas portfolios. Maybe one day when they make so much money and have sufficient client base, they may just go and get listed on the NGX, all right? So Interactive Brokers, number 7. Is it number 7? $68 billion. And then number 8, Apple, $53.77 billion. Number 9, Nvidia, $43 billion. So I'd like to stop there, and you can now see why those companies are the superpowers in corporate America. Biggest names you keep hearing: Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Meta, Google. They have the largest cash reserve. So what you and I are trying to do now is to be that version of these companies in human form. That's why we are called Net Worth Investors Club. We are trying to build our net worth so that in the end, our liabilities will be far more than, our assets will be far more than our liabilities, leaving a balance positive for us. Because your net worth is simply all of your debts put together minus your entire assets. The balance is your net worth. So for instance, for our female members, most of you have jewelries, real gold, real silver. Those things have value. You classify them under your assets and work out what the value is. Some of you, I think it's time for you to now work out your actual net worth. Honestly speaking, this is how you do it. Financial literacy and prudence, financial intelligence requires that at every point in time, you know what your net worth is. So you can be able to gauge what your net worth was in January 2025 and what it became in December 2025. Are you making progress? That's the question. So you classify all your assets. If you have stocks, what is the value? You put it down. You have cash in the bank or anywhere else, put it down. You have investment in mutual fund, put it down. You have some money in bonds, put it down. Did you invest in treasury bills? Put it down. Did you invest in commercial papers? Put it down. All other assets that you have. What is the value of your car if you do have a car? What is the value of your property, the house you live in if you do have one? What are the values of all of those things that you put out there that is at least worth something if you decide to sell? Put all down. Do you know that designer bags that women use, the original designer bags that women use, some of them actually appreciate in value? Those who are really into original designer outfits can attest to this. Do you have gold somewhere? Put it down. What's the present value today? Keep it aside. Those are your assets. Then think of your liabilities. What debts are you owing right now? Are you on, for those of you in the diaspora, do you have credit card debts that are outstanding? Do you have student loan debts that you have not paid off? Do you have any kind of liabilities that is hanging around you that you are hoping to pay out, to pay for? Whatever it is that appears like a debt, put it down. Now, after adding both together, take away the debt from the assets that you have calculated. The balance is your net worth. That is what they use to gauge the richest people in the world. And so on the rich list of Forbes, you will find something like richest man in the world, Elon Musk, net worth so and so billion dollars, meaning all his assets minus all his liabilities, what is left is the 200 and something billion dollars that becomes his net worth. So a net worth investors club, we are trying to build our net worth individually, but collectively sharing the information that we gather and using our experience and knowledge to analyze and share the information for the betterment of everyone else. I hope you understand that now. So what UACN has done is that they chose to build their net worth by growing their cash reserve. The same way Zenith Bank, having declared total of 5 naira from the 36 naira per share earnings per share, the market is not glad. Unlike GTCO that decided to pay 8 naira 3 kobo total dividend from about the same earnings per share that they got. So whilst the market is happy with GTCO, the market is not happy with Zenith Bank. For me, that presents to me an opportunity to accumulate Zenith Bank after watching it drop from markdown state, because they will take out the 3 naira or 4 naira that they declared from the current price on markdown date, and then proceed to start accumulating from there. Anywhere it goes below there, you start buying. Over a period, trust me, Zenith will try to match what GTCO has paid. That is what has also cropped up UBA, and it has now soared above its own peers like Access and First Bank. UBA was about the same range with Access, but suddenly decided to start paying more in dividend, and the market has rewarded them, and they have now grown so much they want to touch 40 naira per share. So that's the way it works. Let me go on to your questions. Is there a caller on Instagram or TikTok? I would like to speak with you. It looks like I have callers right here on Instagram. Olori Cars is there. Let me accept her call and hear her comments. By the way, Emmanuel Hade says, Coach, good day. Can you please attend to my message I sent to your inbox? Okay, I'll try. It's not easy for me, but I will try. That's on Instagram, right? All right. Fresh Help Consult says, I have account with AfroInvest. How can I get dividends and bonus from the companies I have invested? All right, Fresh Help Consult. If you have an account with AfroInvest, your dividend goes straight to your bank account. The question is, when did you start investing? Has it been up to a year? If so, what stocks do you have? Do they pay dividend? That's the only time we can tell whether or not there is dividend that should have come to you that hasn't come. As for your bonus shares, do them an email asking them to move your bonus shares from the registrars or from CSCS to your trading account so you can be able to access them by yourself, right? Okay. Please, how can I know the volume of people's trade on a particular stock on CT Trader Atlas Portfolios? Jeremiah Billions. Go on my YouTube channel and go through the video on how to navigate the website of Atlas Portfolios. But if you are with your system, I could help you do that. If you go onto the platform and you see the stocks, each company is listed side by side. Beside each company, there is an arrow pointing downwards, a very tiny arrow. Click on that arrow. Once you do that, I am guessing that you are following my instructions now. Once you do that, you will see buy, sell, market orders. A box will pop up showing buy, sell, market orders. Move your cursor down to market orders and leave it there. You will now see another pop-up box showing by order and by price. Click on by order and then you will see the bid and offer status. The blue column, which is the first, is the bid column. The pink column is the offer column. So you can be able to see at what price each bid is placed and the total quantity of bids under all of them. And then if you place a bid or place an offer for sale, yours will be highlighted. It will be in bold so you can easily see, right? So that's the way it works. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are not following me, you are losing money. Yesterday, I proved to you guys that you lost a lot of money because you didn't know me as a 2020. And permit me to repeat it again. If you had 2 million naira in 2020 and invested in a stock like NACO, you would have bought 1 million shares of NACO. Between 2020 and now, just 5 years ago, NACO did a bonus of 1 for 5. So on your 1 million shares, you would have received 200,000 free bonus shares. So your total NACO is now about 1,200,000 shares. NACO just announced a final dividend of over 5 naira per share. If you calculate 5 naira times 1.2 million, we are talking about almost 7 million naira in dividend alone. And by the time you get that dividend payment, remember the value of the stock, because NACO is now around 67, 68, or even 69, times 1,200 shares. Your 2 million naira invested 5 years ago is now worth 83 million naira. And yet, you have received more than 2 million in dividends in the last 5 years. How about that? Follow me on all platforms and you will never regret one bit of it. Right? This is where we reveal to you practical steps on making money work for you. Okay? Now we're going to do something fantastic today. I don't know if I will end up doing a video about it, but still on this NACO illustration I gave, somebody in the diaspora may be saying, doesn't make sense for me to convert my money to Naira to invest in Naira. Or they listen to the video and say, what about inflation? Because that's what a lot of people just jump into. What about inflation? Well, let's assume that 2 million Naira 5 years ago was changed to dollars. So I'm going to do a practical illustration to see which was better. 2 million Naira of 5 years ago is a whole lot of money, right? And of course, changing to dollars then is going to give you a whole lot of dollars than it would now. So what we're going to do now is, I have calculated investing it in a stock like NACO and seeing the outcome. Now let's see if that money was exchanged to dollars and just held for 5 years. That means I will check and see how much dollar was going for Naira was selling for per dollar, and exchange it to dollars of the year 2000's exchange rate. And then current value of dollars today will now sell or multiply by current value of the dollar, right? I hope you understand what I mean. So let's go there. 2020 dollar Naira exchange for 2020. Okay, what was the exchange rate of Naira to dollar in 2020? There you go, 380 Naira per dollar. You get the point now? So, let's go back to the calculator and pick out 2 million Naira exchange for dollar in 2020 at the going rate then, which was 380 Naira, you would have gotten about $5,263. Assume you held $5,263 up till today. The exchange rate now is 1,500 or so. Multiply this by 1,500. What do you have? 7.8 million Naira. That's all. Do you see how this thing just beats it flat? 7.8 million Naira. That's all. Whereas that investment, you are receiving almost 7 million Naira as dividend for 2024. the value of the dollars you held for 5 years would have just given you, because the dividends received in the last 5 years on NACO is far more than the 7 million naira, which is the value of the dollar, and you are holding on to your dollars. Whereas in NACO, it was 83 million naira you would have gotten. So if you invested in NACO, 83 million. If you held dollars, 7.8 million from your 2 million invested. That's why don't becloud your mind with the hearsays and the general thought pattern. Nobody became wealthy thinking like every other person. That's why the wealthy are fewer. They think differently. Okay? So now, I'm not done yet. You have your dollar value, which is $5,263. Assume you now decide to sell your NACO, your 1.2 million NACO, and buy dollars of today. Remember, all you bought that time was still the $5,263 that you held for 5 years. Assume now that you decide the 83 million naira, which is the value of your NACO right now, divided by 1,500 per dollar. How much do you have? You now have $55,333, which is better. I think this analysis that I have done on NACO for 2 days now is good enough to come up with a video. If you think so, say go ahead, coach. Go ahead and type. Right here on TikTok, right there on Instagram. I want to see if you really want me to do a video, because this thing is an eye-opener. Everybody needs to understand this. It doesn't mean you shouldn't hold cash in dollars, but don't just zero your mind and swallow everything and think that's the best approach. You must find a way to diversify. Let me see your go-aheads so that I can do a proper video analyzing these things and putting it together for all to see. $55,000. What you held $5,000 for 5 years for, you would have turned that $5,000 to $55,000 today upon the fact that the naira was badly battered during the period. Okay, I'm seeing your go-aheads. Interesting stuff. All right. So I've got my people. I will go ahead. Thank you very much. I think this was really, it was never pre-planned at all. I didn't imagine this, but you know, when you are inspired beyond the physical, you can impact a lot of knowledge and open people's eyes to realities. So don't just sit back there and lose out in the opportunity that the stock market presents. It's good. You are even at an advantage, those of you earning foreign exchange. If you let those who earn naira beat you to it, it's your fault. Because they will be here using naira to buy dollars. After they grow it from the same stock market, you are afraid of using your advantage foreign exchange to change to naira to multiply in the best and greatest quantums. And that's what we're trying to do here now. Nobody knows what USCN will become 2 years from now. But I have a good idea from the way they are going, that stock is one stock to accumulate. You are hearing my voice now, start buying. This is why I tell you, if you are not following me, you are losing money. Anybody has a question, please call in. I always prioritize calls, and once I get you, you will come in. Which share or stock can you predict one can keep for a long time? There are very good stocks that have shown very fantastic tendencies, and I will let you know that USCN is one solid stock. Aradel is one solid stock. I've said NACO several times. You can still have that NACO. NASCOM is one very good stock. I've not mentioned the banks right now. Sometimes you don't need the whole stocks in this world. You just need a strategy to follow a particular stock. As you follow hard on it and keep buying it at a bargain, there comes a time when it no longer looks attractive to you. After you have accumulated, imagine somebody who bought Nago 2 naira. The person will be repulsive at buying it at 69 naira today. So for now, and then you go on to the value stocks. You have a stock like TIP, you want to hold for long. You have QTIX, you want to hold for long. We're still looking for opportunities. I saw livestock drop to 7 naira. Let me see if it's still at 7. And then we can do something about whether it's a good buy or not. Because livestock is also related to UACN. Can I tell you this? UACN is the parent company of livestock. Livestock used to be a subsidiary until they eventually spun it off. And livestock is now standing alone. And you know, agribusiness is a business for life. As long as humans exist on the earth, they must eat. No matter how expensive food is, man must work. Is that not what we say? Good. So, a stock, right? I'm seeing UACN at 28.90. Interesting stuff. We're still watching. That's good. Good for us. Good for us who are watching. Because there is a time to strike, and we will strike when that time comes. 290,000 shares now bidded for. All the 29 naira bids have been cleared, and now the highest bid is 28 naira 85 kobo. And then you have 2 million shares offered. 2 million shares offered, only 290,000 shares bidded for. So more opportunity for UAC to keep coming down. We patiently watch and see. Okay, so what stock was I talking about just now? Somebody, can you remind me, please? Let's see. Okay, VO is asking, what of Dangote Cement? Is this a solid stock? Oh yes, Dangote Cement, very solid. Yeah, I was talking about livestock. So let's see what's happening with livestock. Livestock closed at 8 yesterday, down to 7 naira 80 kobo today. So livestock seems to be looking for a new support level, having gotten as high as 11 and then dropped to 10, stayed for long at 10 and 9, but could not hold firm. So it has dropped to 7, and because of this earnings season issues, let's see. I don't know if their result is out yet, but we watch and see. If livestock drops below 7 and still goes to around 5, that's a fantastic entry price. If you know livestock, you will understand that there is money in agric, because fish feed and poultry feed continues to get more expensive. That's why one boiled egg that used to sell for 50 naira is now selling for 250 or even 300 naira, depending on what location you are in. And it's because of the cost of livestock for these proteinous animals. So, over to you. No one ever imagined that one egg will cost this much. And it has been projected that livestock feeds will continue to be expensive going forward, even in the US. I saw an article like that. So what do? Use real life situations to sometimes determine what you buy in the stock market. It will eventually be to your advantage. Lily Wants Interior says, should we go ahead and buy USCN now? You said to hold and watch more yesterday. Exactly my point. Yesterday it was at 31. I said hold and watch. Today it came down from 30 to 29. I said hold and watch. This very minute it's now 28. So we are still holding and watching. This is how you are saved losses that you would have made. And when we find that it has finally bottomed out, then we take position. So who would have expected that in spite of all the beats we saw for the first time today, that it will still go below 29? Well, it just went below 29. So we are still watching. Okay? Big Dell says, sir, please, I tried to buy Zenith stock through Bamboo platform, but I wasn't able to. So what do you think? I do not use Bamboo. I don't know why you couldn't buy, but Zenith is always there. Abdul Nasir, thank you very much. I see your gifts there. Guys, don't sleep on this. We are sharing life-changing opportunities, and the best you can do is keep power tapping your screens, tap your screen severally, share this live session, give gifts right in this live session, and let's see how many more people we can attract, because screen actions, like I have explained to you to do, is what gathers more people to come and see what we are doing. You know, when the things that don't benefit people is being shared, people are just making fun and laughing and doing live streams, and you have comedians and all kinds of things going on. They share a lot of gifts. They do all kinds of screen actions. I don't know how they motivate them, and that's not my aim. But TikTok has informed that the more, if you have done live before, you will notice it, that message comes from time to time, that the more screen actions that you generate, the more people you attract to come and benefit from what we're doing for free, right? I know, I understand that because we're not shaking bomb here and doing all of those nasty things, you won't find a lot of people gathering. But you know why? Because not everybody will be wealthy. Not everybody will be rich. So the things that empower people, people don't like to gather and value it. But it's not a problem. My joy is that you are here. So if you will be empowered, I'm satisfied. Right? Okay. Is Bua, I saw a question there, it just jumped. This thing jumps a lot, I don't know. I hope I'm not missing too many questions, but thank God for the likes of Maobi. And of course, Alerted King is always sharing this live session. So we're getting our fair share of reaching out to others. What's the best price to bid for Bua cement as you advised for kids, really wants interiors? Thank you very much, VO. I see your roses there. Well appreciated. Best price for Bua. You just, for that Bua, which I advise that you buy for your children, right? Just that, thank you very much. For that Bua, I advise for children, buy in stages, okay? So we'll take a look. I will give you a price now because I feel that you are ready to start buying for them. So let's see. Bua cement, currently at 77 naira per share. I would say, okay, the weighted average is still 77.26, meaning it doesn't sold too much beyond 77 or below 77. So you can have some now at 77 naira 70 kobo, not bad. You buy some, you hold on. After a while, if it drops further, you buy more, you hold on. You are planting for the big harvest. Okay? So that's what to do with Bua for the children. Coach, I am accumulating Q-Tics and charms. Want to hit 1 million each. Hope it has potentials. You have them. Ojukes, go ahead with your game plan. It's in order. Let me see what charms is doing. Charms is at 209. Always lifetime opportunity waiting for us in charms. And then Q-Tics 248 now, down from 252. So opportunity to continue your accumulation. As long as you are buying for long term, they are very good stocks to hold. Okay. Is UBA good for long term? Prosperity Fit. UBA is very good for long term. The question is, at what price are you entering? Great temp. Thank you so much for those ice creams there. UBA currently 36.90. I think is a good price. Just be aware that UBA may drop after the markdown. Let me run through the payment dates for these companies, just to keep you abreast. Please, everybody take note of the following information. I'm going to read out to you companies and their dividend declaration, that is dividend announced per share, the qualification date, and the payment date. Please listen up, and if you like, grab your pen now, and if you are ready, just type ready, so you can be able to take note of this very important corporate action information. Keep it close to you and know when to expect your payments. Grab your pen, get a jotter or a journal, and just type ready, and then I'll go ahead and read out to you so you can save up this information. Very vital. You need to now know how real these things are and when to expect your dividends. Even though we announce it on our Discord app, sometimes people may just forget. Some people are not able to meet up with what is happening on the platform. But if you have your own diary of when this thing is happening, it's good for you. You can easily refer for the stocks that you own, right? And then it also gives you a record of previous performances and what to look out for if you are investing. Okay, I'm seeing the readies all over the place. Fantastic, my people are ready. So let's go. Corporate actions number 1, Transpower. That's Transcorp Power. Okay. They declared a dividend of 3 naira 50 kobo, or you will see 350 kobo. It means 3 naira 50 kobo. Qualification date, to make it short, just do QD. Qualification date, 11th February 2025. Qualification date, Transpower, 11th February 2025, which means anybody who buys now does not qualify. Payment date, just put PD. Payment date, 11th March 2025. So that is done. If you have not received your Transpower dividend, you now know that they paid since 11th of March, right? All right, next is NGX. Some of you do not know that NGX is quoted on the stock exchange as well. NGX is the Nigerian exchange. I'll tell you what, it was selling for 29 naira or thereabout. It also actually got to 30 something naira. Let's see, NGX, that's it right there. NGX Group, that's the ticker symbol, NGX Group. It's currently 29 naira per share now. So for those who do not know, the NGX itself is also listed in the stock market. They make money for people. So quick one, dividend, 200 kobo, which is 2 naira. 200 kobo, NGX. QD, which is qualification date, 13th March 2025. So if you buy now, you don't qualify because the qualification date has passed. Payment date, PD, 9th April 2025. So sometime next week, NGX shareholders will be receiving their alerts, right? Next, Geregu, which is Geregu Power. Dividend, 850 kobo, which is 8 naira 50 kobo. QD, qualification date, 13th March. PD, payment date, 28th March. It's gone, it's done. We're in April already. Next, UCAP, dividend, 50 kobo. UCAP, dividend, 50 kobo. QD, 14th March. As qualification date. Just listen up, keep writing. even if you don't have the stock or the date has passed, it's important for you to keep your records so you know how to check some of these things when a stock is being spoken about. The UCAP's payment date is 4th of April, which is tomorrow. So all UCAP shareholders get set for your dividend payment, which is coming on the 4th of April tomorrow. So you know what to expect. Calculate the dividend per share times the number of shares you have, then remove 10% because dividend is taxed 10% in Nigeria from source. 10% from source. So if you have 1 million shares of United Capital times 50 kobo per share, it means 500,000 naira gross dividend. 10% of 500,000 naira is 50,000 naira. Take out 50,000 naira from 500,000, what you will receive in your account is 450,000 naira cash. That's the way it works. If you are not following me, you are losing money. Follow me on all social media platforms, including here that you are watching right now. You will thank yourself later. Okay, after UCAP, we have AfriPrud, which is African Prudential. African Prudential declared dividend 60 kobo per share. 60 kobo per share, and then bonus 1 for 1. So African Prudential is going to give you 1 extra share for the one that you already have. So if you have 1 million shares, African Prudential is giving you extra 1 million shares, right? And then qualification date 21st of March. Payment date 31st of March. So all about the corporate actions that African Prudential did is already gone. Still hang on. We'll soon get to the ones that have not been done and you can actually buy. So as you listen up, you can ask your questions. If I buy this now, do I qualify for the dividend? And so on, right? Okay, the next is Transcorp Hotel. Transcorp Hotel declared a dividend of 64 kobo. Qualification date 25th of March. So if you buy now, you will not qualify for this dividend. Payment date 16th April. Right? Then you have Lafarge, which is WAPCO, West African Portland Cement Company. Lafarge dividend 120 kobo, which is 1 naira 20 kobo per share. Qualification date 28th March. Payment date 25th April. So the qualification date is passed. If you buy WAPCO now, you will not benefit from the dividend. Just wait for the markdown if it is a stock you are interested in. They will remove the dividend from the price of the stock, then it will come down. You can try to buy if you want. Home Call, HMCALL. Dividend 7 kobo. Qualification date 31st March 2025. Payment date 25th April. Right? Alright, and then we go on to TIP. I know TIP has a lot of darlings in this group. TIP has actually made a lot of people rich here. Imagine buying TIP 1 naira 90 kobo in November times 1 million shares, that's 1.9 million. Currently is now 4 naira plus, meaning 1.9 million in November is now over 4 million naira plus. Let's say you were bold enough when I was saying buy TIP, and it got to 1 naira, when it was at 1 naira 90 kobo, and you put in money for 10 million shares. That would have costed you about 19 million naira. Currently, the 10 million shares is worth 40 million. So your 19 million naira in November is now worth 40 million. All right, TIP, TIP, dividend 10 kobo per share. Now, TIP is another one that has behaved like UACN, as I explained to you. Zenith Bank, as I explained to you, and which other company, which other stock made a lot of money but decided to pay very little or nothing. So TIP is one of them. TIP made 1 whole naira per share. For a stock that is selling for just 4 naira to be making 1 naira earnings per share, that says a lot about how profitable the stock is. And the market punished it. It was about rising almost to 5 naira, then it dropped. TIP, 10 kobo per share. Qualification date, listen to this, Friday, 4th of April. So if you, tomorrow is Friday, tomorrow is 4th. So if you buy TIP now, you will qualify for the dividend. Qualification date, 4th April. Payment date, 28th April. So TIP decides that they will pay me dividend on my birthday. Can you imagine that? So put it down. TIP payment date, 28th of April. Next is Stanbic IBTC. Stanbic. Dividend 300 kobo, which is 3 naira per share. Qualification date 11th April. So there's still time if you are interested in Stanbic. By the way, Stanbic is final dividend. I think they paid 2 naira interim dividend. So total dividend for 2024 is 5 naira that Stanbic is paid, right? Sandra Gonzalez says, where can I buy stocks? You buy through a stockbroker. Follow me on Instagram. I send you the link. You open your brokerage account with the broker, fund your account, learn from here, and go ahead to invest. Okay? Stanbic 300 kobo. Qualification date 11th of April. Payment date 16th of May. So there is a way you can invest. In most months of the year, you'll be receiving dividends. For instance, you receive some of them in April, some of them will pay in May, some are paying in June, some even in August. So you scatter investments all over the place. And the beautiful thing about stocks is, as long as you have not sold the shares, you will keep collecting the dividends, right? Then we go on to UBA. I hope you are writing down. UBA dividend 300 kobo, which is 3 naira per share. Qualification date 11th of April. So somebody asked about buying UBA today. If you buy today, you will still qualify. 11th is still far. Today is just 3rd, right? So if you buy UBA now, you qualify for this 3 naira per share dividend. Payment date is 25th of this month. So you can buy UBA this month and still collect the dividend, even though this dividend is for 2024 financial year. 2024 financial year, which has come to an end since December. That you buy this month, you can still benefit from the dividend and get ready for the next dividend coming in October, which will be the interim dividend for 2025. Then 2025 final dividend will come by this time next year again. So a stock like UBA and some of these banks will be paying you every 6 months for holding the stock. So imagine receiving 5 naira per share full year total dividend on UBA, for instance, that you bought for 7 naira per share, because some few years ago UBA was just 7 naira per share, and now you are receiving in one financial year 5 naira per share as dividend. And the value of the UBA, I did a video about UBA. Similar video I want to now do about NACO and incorporate all of these things I showed you, converting dollars, 2 million naira to dollars in 2020 and getting 5,000 and something dollars, versus investing in NACO, the same 2 million that is now worth 83 million. If you are not following me, you are losing money. You can see that now. We go on. UBA final dividend 3 naira per share. Qualification date 11th of this month. Payment date 25th. The next, custodian insurance. Dividend 1 naira 10 kobo. Qualification date 14th of April. payment date 2nd of May. Then we go on to GT Co, which is GT Corporation, GT Bank. Dividend 703 kobo, which is 7 naira 3 kobo per share. Qualification date 15th April. So anybody who buys GT Bank now still qualifies for that dividend. Payment date 24th April. For me, I have a reservation for buying GT Co at that price. It will surely come down after the payment of dividend because they will remove a whole 7 naira from the stock price when they mark down. But if you bought and got dividend, well, that's for your own benefit. All right, so that's about GT. Zenith, dividend 400 kobo, which is 4 naira per share. If you have 1 million Zenith Bank shares, you are waiting for 4 million naira. You have 1 million shares, 4 naira per share dividend times your 1 million shares, 4 million naira. If you have 100,000 shares, 100,000 times 4 naira per share, you have 400,000 naira as dividend. But you have to remove 10%, which is 40,000 naira from the 400,000, which gives you a balance or net dividend in your account of 360,000 naira. So Zenith, qualification date 15th April, payment date 29th April. Fidelity Bank, 1 naira 25 kobo dividend per share. Qualification date 15th of this month, April. Payment date 29th of April. I'll try to be a bit faster now. For your information, if you know Jim Ovia, the founder of Zenith Bank, he is the one who is going to receive 25 billion naira as dividend. One man. By October, he will receive around 11 billion again as dividend. So it's amazing to know that you can actually invest like the rich and then see the results of the rich. Remember, if you are not rich, forget theory. Go ahead and look for what the rich are doing and do the same. The rich invest, the middle class save, the poor spend. That's why there are more poor people in the world than there are rich people. Jim Ovia, from this dividend of 4 naira declared, will be receiving 25 billion naira to himself. No struggle, no fighting. Tony Elumelu, from the 3 naira dividend declared by UBA, will be receiving about 12 billion naira to himself through their direct and indirect holdings of these bank stocks. Do what they do and earn as they earn. That's what we're saying. NASCON, dividend 2 naira per share. Qualification date 16th of April. Payment date 9th of May. MECOR, dividend 15 kobo per share. Qualification date 18th of April. Payment date to be announced. CAP, 2 naira 40 kobo dividend. Qualification date Friday 18th of April. Payment date to be announced. Okomu Oil, come on now. 2,600 kobo. Qualification date 24th of April. Payment date 22nd of May. 2,600 kobo means 26 naira per share. That's what Okomu Oil has paid. SFS REIT, dividend 21 naira 50 kobo. Qualification date 25th of April. Payment date 19th of April. 19th of May, sorry. NEM Insurance, dividend 1 naira per share. Qualification date 25th April. payment date 20th of May. Unilever, dividend 1 naira 25 kobo, qualification date 25th of April, payment date 12th of May. Aradel's dividend 22 naira per share, qualification date 6th of May, payment date 29th of May. So there's a whole lot of time to accumulate enough Aradel to participate in that dividend. The beautiful thing about Aradel is that we need to note also is that they paid an interim dividend of 8 naira per share last October. So if you have Aradel, get set to keep receiving dividends every 6 months. So if you add the total dividend pays for 2024 financial year, Aradel paid 30 naira per share as dividend. If you add 8 naira to this 22 naira, 30 naira per share, which is good, and I know Aradel will do better. Watch. Champion Breweries 6 kobo, qualification date 9th of May, payment date 21st of May. Aiko Insurance 7 kobo, qualification date 21st May, payment date 27th May. UACN that we have been analyzing since morning. Dividend 22 kobo. This is what is annoying the market right now. Qualification date 21st of May, payment date 5th of June. Julius Berger, the construction giant, 3 naira 25 kobo. Qualification date 30th of May, payment date 20th of June. Dangote Cement, dividend 30 naira per share, qualification date 9th of June. So if you don't buy from now till June 8th and buy, you will still qualify. Payment date 23rd of June. Bua Cement, 2 naira 5 kobo. Qualification date 8th of August. Payment date 28th of August. Bua Foods, 13 naira dividend. Qualification date 21st of August. Payment date 25th of August. That's all about dividends that we are expecting payments for. I hope that clears the air and brings us to your question and answers. Is FCMB paying dividend? That's coming from the Cornerstone. Yes, FCMB will pay dividend, but we have not heard how much they are paying. GG says, your Instagram handle, sir. Well, I'm going to type it for you to see. It's at Wealth Coach Omiete, the same handle I use here, right? But I'll still type it and pin it for everyone to see at Wealth Coach. That's it over there at Wealth Coach Omiete. Follow me on Instagram. DM me for any information you need. I've pinned my Instagram handle as well, so anybody can access. Going forward, how can I get CSCS and CHN number? Chukwemeka, you need to open a stock brokerage account. Just follow me on Instagram. That's my handle there. Ask me of the link. I'll send a very competent Atlas Portfolios link to you so you can open your brokerage account and they will generate your CHN number and your CSCS number. For the information of those just joining, CSCS stands for Central Securities Clearing System, while CHN stands for Clearing House Number. Okay? All right. I have DM you, coach, but no response. Ikechukwu Okezikam, spare me. I will try to respond after today's session, okay? Someone says, I'm overwhelmed. Ekomi, please tell us, what is overwhelming you? Is it Tony Elumelu's 12 billion or Jim Ovia's 25 billion? Clean, okay. Clean says Boa Cement. Let me mention Boa, is it Boa Cement? Okay. Let me mention Boa Cement again for you. Boa Cement, 2 naira 5 kobo dividend. Qualification date 8th of August. Payment date 28th of August. So from what we have done right now regarding the dividend or corporate actions I have announced so far, you will see that some stocks will pay you dividend every April. Some are paying in May, some are paying in June. What I didn't see is July, but I saw August, I saw September. How many months now? 5. That's not all. So 5 months out of 12, there is a way you will invest. We didn't say buy every stock in the market, but there's a way you will invest. You will be receiving dividends constantly in your bank account without struggle. You are abroad, running around trying to make money. While you are doing that, without being disturbed, your stocks are dropping money in your bank account. Now, you are in Nigeria, running around your business or your paid employment. While you are doing that, without distraction, money is dropping in your bank account. Add a stock like NIDF that pays dividend 4 times every year. They pay you dividend in January for, is it January? No, in February, I think, or end of January, for the December or last quarter results, right? So NIDF pays you dividend 4 times quarterly. If you calculate the 4 months that you receive dividend from just that one stock, add it to 5 other months that some other stocks that you own, you have almost covered 12 full months of regular income without sweat. How about that? Please, I use Trove. They won't get dividend from the app. Shuaibu Omoko. I do not know if you get your dividend on the app. Maybe users here should help us respond to Shuaibu. AS is asking, is Aradel good to buy now? And I will say convincing yes. Sir, please, did you mention Dank Sugar for dividend? Zini, I didn't mention Dank Sugar. They are not paying dividend. Coach, how can we have access to dividend info like this for different companies? This information was actually gathered individually from the website of the NGX. So you can go to the website of the NGX. As they announce their corporate actions, you pick the information. That's the way it's done. Or you join our wealth community where we assemble this information and share amongst ourselves. Sir, can we get a list of these companies and their declared dividends and dates? Please, please, please. If you want, then follow me on Instagram, do me a DM. I can easily send it to you. But you see, something with phone and all those things, you hardly can reach them when you want, or your phone gets missing, you may not find it. That's why I said, put it down. Nothing beats a journal, right? The holy books were written in journals, called the Holy Bible or called the Holy Quran. God knows that you have a spirit to tap whatever he has to say, but he still wrote his thoughts in a book so you can go back and revisit it. That's how important a journal is to man. Jewels by Amma is asking, how do I join the wealth community? Feel free to send me a DM on Instagram. I'll send you the link to join. We are on Discord app, and the Discord link expires from time to time. It is for the cyber security and safety of members, so hackers don't jump in at will. When I share a link with you, after a while it expires, so you can't easily share it yourself. That means I will have to go back to the app and regenerate a new link and send to you. So current link comes to you, you log in, and that's it. I hope you understand now. Yeah. Okay. What is your take on RT Briscoe share? Salvation Boutique. Be careful with RT Briscoe. It actually ran very high last year. It used to be an under 1 naira stock, and you remember it very vividly at 70 kobo per share before it rose and ran until it got to almost 3 naira, if not 4 naira. Then it started dropping. And you want to ask, why did RT Briscoe run that much when their finances are not fantastic? Well, that was when the federal government of Nigeria was publicizing their plan for the CUG, is it CUG or CNG? You know, petrol to gas conversion of cars. And because RT Briscoe is a car, assembly business, they were open to that kind of thing and got linked to the CNG project. And that was how people started running and buying the stock. As far as returns for your investment is concerned, I do not know if their books are now very okay. So you want to be careful. Any news can come up to grow the share price, but be sure of what you are doing before you get into it, okay? Which stock is advisable to buy today? Sandra Gonzalez. What's your preference? What's your investment goal? What do you intend to achieve? What do you want from the investment? And then what's your horizon? Is it long term or short term? Let me know so I can be able to advise. Is Jaiz Bank a good buy? Mo, if you asked me this question around November when I was speaking about Jaiz and saying buy, it was around 2 naira 45 kobo. Now that it's at 3 naira 30 kobo or something like that, I would say any slight bearish market experience will drop it below 3. So what do you want? Do you want to wait after dividends are paid and you see something very close to 3? Then I would say wait and buy around 3 and below, so that whenever there is a market, maybe a rise in the stock price, you can quickly record gains, okay? So don't be too much in a hurry to buy Jaiz. I also remember that when I was giving you updates about their shares outstanding, Jaiz has very huge number of shares outstanding, 40 billion shares. And it's not easy to provide per share wise for that volume of shares. Sandra Gonzalez says short term. The best short term stock I can advise you to buy right now is Honeywell Floor. Let's take a look at Honeywell Floor and see what's happening with that stock. Honeywell, 11 naira 99 kobo at the moment. So it's down, it's dropped below 12, which is okay. Between 11 and 10, you can buy Honeywell. Arola says USCN at 29. Is it a good buy? USCN is under watch. Please keep watching. Don't jump in. It's sold at 28 today. So it may just go down below that 29 you are seeing right now. Good day, coach. Please, what dividend paying stock can I invest with 1 million naira for a long term? Nagiri Asuku. Because you have mentioned dividend first, I would say, okay, the best choice will be something substantial in terms of dividend yield. And what could that then be? ₦1 million dividend paying stock. I would have preferred that you go for capital gains instead of dividend. But if you want dividend, the yield is not going to be too wonderful these days. Something like 10%, 12% max. We are talking of a stock like Give me some time to think about that, so I don't waste our time here. Madogoku says, are you on Telegram? No, we're not. Net Worth Investors Club 2 years ago attempted to migrate to Telegram, and Telegram threw us out twice. We are on Discord, and Discord has been serving us fantastically well. Ogwegbune Alta says, when is Honeywell Floor paying dividend? No information yet, no corporate action at the moment. Please, is the best entry price for UBA and Zenith Bank? I guess clean, you mean what's the best entry price for UBA and Zenith? For me, current price of UBA not too bad, because you will get to benefit from the dividend, but after the dividend is paid, you may see it far lower than this. So up to you to decide whether to buy and benefit from the dividend. Otherwise, 36.35 is okay for UBA, and then I'm seeing Zenith at 46.95, which is fine. Okay, under 47 for Zenith is okay, as long as you benefit from the dividend that is going to be paid. Coach, I bought AfriPrud on the 3rd of March on AfriInvestor app, and I have not received any dividend. Stanley Dozie, if you saw when I was reading it out, you would know that African Prudential is supposed to have paid. Hold on. AfriPrud. Okay, if you have not received your dividend, complain to African Prudential, complain to AfriInvest. Send them an email that you have not received your dividend so they can follow up with the registrars of AfriPrud. The registrars of AfriPrud is UCAP. Interesting, isn't it? United Capital is the registrar. So if you can reach them, but it's always easier through your broker, right? Okay, Sandra says, I'm just a beginner, all right? You will get to learn a lot. If I see your DM on Instagram, I will send you links to my YouTube channel to have a good view of the beginner videos to give you a good understanding, because we always preach knowledge here. When you know enough about the market, you avoid mistakes that other people make and lose money. Okay, Emma White says, African Prudential actually changed their AGM date because of the Salah. Sandra Gonzalez, TikTok DMs are difficult to attend to because of the crowd. That's why I always, for quick response, I always advise Instagram. But should I be able to find time to reach and respond, that will be okay. Coach, I asked a question, but you have not touched on it. Chima Okwara, please, you would have used this time to retype that question. That's what to do. If you type a question and I miss it, because there's a way the app does and it just jumps some questions, I would have been able to now respond to you. Now, to go back and search for your questions can be difficult. What's the difference between capital gains and dividends? Good question. Mando Goku. Capital gain is when you buy NACO 2 naira in 2020, 5 years ago, and that NACO is now selling for 68 naira per share. The gain you make on top the 2 naira per share you bought is your capital gain. So the 2 naira, if you take 2 naira away from 68 naira that it is now, your capital gain per share is 66 naira. And then if you have 1 million shares times the 66 naira, your capital gain is 66 million naira by the time you remove the 2 million naira you invested. That's capital gain. Dividend is what the company declares as payout to shareholders from the profit they make. So that tells you that a company that is not profitable cannot pay dividend, because dividend is actually paid from the profit after tax. You get the point now. So that's why we tell people, go for knowledge, be guided, ask questions, and in our wealth community, we do all of this and share with you, because not all quoted companies in the stock market are actually profitable. Most of them are in debt and do not have money to even declare as profit. For instance, and this is really crazy, since last year I was talking about Cadbury not being a very good company to invest in. That when USCN and Unilever rises, Cadbury follows to rise because they are in the same industry, and because those ones, these other two are more expensive, people tend to go for the next in the industry, and the price was rising from 16, 17 to 20 something. And I kept saying the books of Cadbury is not healthy. They are in a financial mess that they have not worked on. Can you imagine? Cadbury generated 68% turnover growth. That is, they increased their annual sales by 68%. Yet, they ended up with 28 billion naira loss. So, a company that declares loss cannot pay dividend. And so if you check their corporate action, Cadbury dividend 0. So not all companies are profitable. So when we go through and know which of them from their quarter 1, 2, and 3 reports, we can advise. That's why around November, we have already seen first quarter results, second quarter results, third quarter results. It is only the fourth quarter results for the year left. And any company that has done well up to the third quarter, then the fourth quarter result cannot rubbish the other 3 quarters that have been good. And that's why November is naturally our planting season, when we must have observed all the companies and known which is which to put our money, while every other person in the market is asleep, so that by the time January comes, the stock prices begins to shoot, and then we ride high. You see the strategy now? Right. Is Dangote Sugar paying dividend? Flamsy ego. No, Dangote Sugar is not paying dividend. Remember, they had foreign exchange losses. Dangote Sugar recorded too much foreign exchange losses because of their bills that they had to pay in dollars after the devaluation that happened to the naira. Right? If you want to understand better, raw materials that they use to make their sugar, most of their sugar raw materials, the sugar canes, comes from Brazil. And when you import items, the invoice is in US dollars. So suddenly, all the money they made in naira, something they would have used half to pay, because as at that time when they were getting that transaction done, exchange rate was 700 naira per dollar. Now it is 1,500. So double what they needed initially to pay for such invoices is what they are now paying. So all the naira they earned, they had to pay it out. The same happened to MTN. For that reason, MTN did not pay dividend at all. For the first time, a company that pays dividend twice, a whole MTN, didn't pay dividend at all. Why? Because some of their telecommunications equipment were procured from abroad. And also, some of these companies collect loans from their parent companies abroad. For instance, you have the likes of PZ. PZ took loan from its parent company in the UK, PZ Cousins. And for that reason, that debt, that loan is in foreign currency, but they are in a naira denominated economy where they do business and generate money. So by the time they now gather the naira that they have made, exchange rate is now double what it used to be. So they will pack everything and pay to their parent company. This is why we are building our net worth and reducing our debts, so that we don't fall into financial crisis. Get the point now? Now, in the same vein, some banks that held foreign currency cash suddenly made a whole lot of money with the devaluation of the naira, because the $1 they used to report in their books as 750 naira per dollar was now being reported in naira as 1,500 naira per dollar. So all of those foreign currency assets or cash converted to naira boosted their earnings. That's why you hear things like windfall tax. Why? Because that policy brought about a windfall earnings from their foreign exchange assets, and that was like earning what was not normal. So the government had to tax them 70% of all they earned from that devaluation, because they had assets or currencies in foreign exchange, in pounds, in dollars, and all of that. So government taxed these banks that made a lot of money from their foreign currency holdings and collected 70%, leaving 30% for them. And the CBN also directed banks never to pay dividend from their windfall earnings. That remaining 30% that the banks was to retain or were to retain was to be put in expanding the business of the bank and never to be paid out as dividend. That's because it is an extraordinary income that cannot be repeated again. And if you go and raise the hopes of investors, right, like me and you, and they start paying 10 naira per share, all these banks, next year, when it's time to pay dividend and there is no devaluation of the naira, where would they find the money from? It will cause problems. So instead of living a false life, the CBN is saying, pay what you can pay out from your core business, because that is the original way to gauge your performance. But there are many people who are living the false life. That's why you hear for the gram. People come to Instagram, come to TikTok, and live a false life. Go to the biggest hotels, take photos by the biggest cars, none of them is theirs. That's what you are doing. What CBN is saying the banks should not do by paying out from their foreign exchange windfall. I hope somebody's getting something. So we try not to impress people by spending money that we shouldn't spend, but we try to improve our lifestyle from time to time by sustainable income, investing in the stock market. Let me tell you, the best thing to do for yourself is to deny yourself instant gratification, moving your money into assets that will grow and later afford you the best life that you ever wanted. Is somebody not following me? If you are not following me, you are losing money. 15 minutes to go, and for the first time after almost 2 hours, I am having a caller. All right, Gerald is on the line. For the sake of other listeners, please tell us your name and where you are streaming from.
Good afternoon, Coach. My name is Gerald,
Good to you, Gerald. Where are
and
you
I'm
streaming
calling from
from?
Canada.
Gerald from Canada. Good to have you.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask. Yesterday, Donald Trump announced a reciprocal tax or tariff, sorry, on Nigeria. And then looking at knowing too well that anytime there is always a tariff war between countries, their stock market takes the hit. So I'm just asking for your opinion. Do you think in a short period that Nigerian stock market may take a hit from that reciprocal tariff?
Well, the point is that tariff is not exclusive to Nigeria alone. It's a general tariff regime that is introducing, and Nigeria happens to be a victim because of our trade partnership with the US. Down to our stock market, I am doubting very strongly that it has any direct bearing on our stock market right now. Going forward, it depends on what the tariff is all about. Because if the Nigerian stock market is dominated by exporters, then it will affect them seriously. But the Nigerian economy is more an import dependent economy than an export dependent economy. The only place where Nigeria may struggle is that crude oil export. That's our major foreign exchange earner. So before that time comes, we can be able to tell. Otherwise, most of the companies will continue to do business in Nigeria. Most of the market for the products that they deliver or the service they deliver is still for the Nigerian market. I really have not seen a lot of the quoted Nigerian companies that export to the US because Nigeria itself is a very large market that is unsatisfied. So, in the interim, there's nothing to fear. The only thing that could happen is a contagion effect if all markets around the world experiences any kind of bear trend. But you know how we do it here. We've tried to make the beer our friend. And I've seen that the market has a cycle of ups and downs. And every time a very down moment comes, that's a solid opportunity to strike. So I'm already foreseeing a wealth transfer opportunity. Everybody hold the cash, watch how battered the markets get, both the foreign markets and the local markets, and strike when we find that the market is bottoming out because all these things are temporary. I can beat my chest and confidently tell you it will all pass. What the foreign market is experiencing now, what brought the world to a standstill that nobody knew whether it would come to an end or not was the COVID experience, where everybody lost any form of hope that there will be an end to it because there was no solution to that COVID virus. But you know what? Even that came to an end. So for me, I'm just licking my lips and waiting patiently to see how low the market gets. A lot of stocks already, a lot of growth stocks in the US market are already undervalued. For instance, Google already undervalued with all what they have in terms of cash reserve and looking at their PE ratio and what they can do. Google is already undervalued. So many of them like that. We are still waiting. So sometimes somebody has to go crazy to give us this opportunity if a natural disaster is not happening. That's my take.
Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate.
All right, sir.
Even funnier, imagine him as a hippo.
Next on the line. Hello, Clean.
Hello, Coach. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Tell us your name and where you're streaming from.
Yeah, Clint, calling from Lagos.
Okay, there is a contest between Lagos and Abuja where I will be having my first meet and greet session. We will see who wins. It can happen as early as next month. Go ahead,
All
Clean.
right. Guys, listen. If you're not following Coach, you are losing money.
That's it.
You see that word? That statement is a very strong statement. When I begin to check the stocks I've bought so far and think about the dividends that will be coming, I begin to remember that word Coach used to say. If you're not following me, you're losing money. Coach, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. And I'm saying, I'm going to buy you a drink on your birthday. It's a promise. To be, yeah. You're doing a good job. I really do appreciate. Ever since I came across your page, I mean, it has really helped me so much. It has really
Mm.
helped me. When I look at my portfolio, I mean, I'm surprised. I'm
Wow.
surprised how my portfolio has grown. Okay, let me just save the time now. I want to ask a question. You said because you mentioned the dividends, the qualification date and payment date.
Payment date.
Now,
Yeah.
one of my best stock, which is Aradel, you said the qualification date is on 6th of April. So what you're saying now, if I don't get Aradel on before the 6th of April, I won't qualify. Do I have some of the units? But what I'm saying, if I don't get more before 6th, that means I won't qualify for the dividends. And how does this dividend work? Because you mentioned in the comment section that, sorry, when I sent a message, I asked a question in the comment section, and you said, if I want to buy UBA because of the dividends, okay, fine, I can buy it now. But you're saying, mind you, after the dividends, it goes down. So I need to understand. Does it mean that after the dividends, if you buy, when it goes down, you buy more? I don't know. How does this work? This dividend, is it a lifetime something or does it have a duration? How it works? I don't understand. So
Okay.
that is it.
Not a problem. I'll explain. Arabelle is paying 22 naira per share dividend. Qualification date is 6th of May. Now I understand
Oh,
also,
okay.
and also tell why Arabelle is not in a hurry to make gains because the qualification date is still far.
Okay.
It's even cheaper now to buy because if you had bought at 500 naira, the dividend yield you will get on 22% will be lower than if you buy now at 489. So people are not in a hurry to buy yet because there is still room to buy in. So
Okay.
somebody will be deciding to sell some Arabelle, buy some other thing, trade with it, come back to buy Arabelle. On to your question, the qualification date for every dividend declaration is saying buy it on or before that date. You do whatever you buy qualifies for the dividend that's going to be paid on the payment date that is announced. You will notice that is why the qualification date comes earlier before the payment date.
Yeah.
The payment date is always later because the registrars of the company will now close the register for the purpose of preparation for payment of dividends. So between that, the next day after qualification date, they've started assessing who are the existing shareholders and what quantity do they have. They start working out how much to be paid based on the dividend per share declared. Then on payment date, alert starts flying into those accounts. But there can be mix-ups and confusions that can be painful. Based on experience, I advise my followers don't buy on qualification date. Always buy at most a day to qualification date because
Mm,
transactions done on qualification dates can lead to mix ups whereby the person who sold to you can be paid the dividend that should come to you and
mm,
you just lose out completely. Please, everybody, I'm drawing my ears. Take
mm,
note of this. Do not buy on qualification date. You stand the risk of not getting paid that dividend. Always buy at most 1 day to the qualification date because that gives the registrars the time to collate and make sure your name is in the register of shareholders to be paid. I have received dividend I did not qualify for.
mm.
And
I see.
the registrars called me and I said, I'm aware I do not need that dividend. It's not me. I sold the stocks and then I did a refund. So people should please take note of this. and just prepare accordingly. That's why I said get a pen and tell me ready, ready, ready. So you can always have this information to yourself. People, you can just get up on a day after the qualification date and say, oh, I plan to buy this stock. And you are not with your diary or wherever you wrote it, and you go and buy. You have bought a stock from somebody who is still going to collect dividend. So that's how it works. So between now and 5th of May, if you buy Aradel, we are sure your name will be in the register to collect dividend. Now, on to what you were asking about the markdown. It's done all across the world. When a dividend is paid out, the dividend per share declared will be removed from the current market price as at the day of markdown because they do not want to create an artificial wealth for somebody. How do I mean? Recall African Prudential declaring 1-for-1 bonus.
Yeah.
The price jumps to 36 because everybody wanted to have that stock. The person selling to you is forfeiting the 1-for-1 bonus and submitting it to you by selling at 36. Now, at 36, on the markdown date, they will have the price because they are giving you one extra share for every one you have.
Okay.
So that you don't have 2 million shares at 36 naira. That's artificial value. The 36 naira valuation was for the existing shares that was in circulation. Now that they are bringing in fresh number of shares, they are going to half the price so that the value on markdown date is the same. Since they have doubled the number of shares, the price must come down to give you the same value when you didn't have the bonus. From there, let the company keep creating value. Then if the price is rising, then you know you are making money on top of your bonus. So it is in the same vein that dividends are removed from a share price per time every time dividend is declared. And the technical word is mark down. So that's it. So based on experience, what we have noticed is after the price is marked down for dividend payment, because there is nothing new to look forward to, the price remains there or even goes down a bit because nothing exciting again about the stock, at least in the nearest term. So, but that decline is another chance for those who want to hold that stock for long to buy
Okay.
more cheaper. Then something like first quarter result comes out because the first quarter has ended. Towards the end of this month and into the beginning of next month, you will see first quarter results will start coming out. First quarter results, if they are good, will push the share price up. So you that got lower after markdown will suddenly realize some gains
Okay.
from after they publish first quarter results. That's the way it works. Sometimes the markdown coincides with first quarter results coming out. So immediately after markdown, the thing jumps back up. So it could be any which way. Ours is to time our entry correctly per time for each stock because it's not cast in stone. Anything can happen. A stock can be marked down and one good news comes up that pushes the price up. It means it didn't go through that redundancy cycle that it normally goes through. You get the point now?
Oh, fantastic.
So that's it. Then you mentioned something I also want to clear. If you hold a stock for the rest of your life, you keep receiving dividend for the rest of your life. So that's why some of us are not troubled by price fluctuations. And that's what I'm trying hard to train everybody who is following me. Stop stressing yourself about price fluctuations. I bought NACO 9 naira. The price dropped to 7 naira. It didn't bother me. Eventually, it rose beyond that and is now 70 something naira. I mean 60 something naira, almost 70. What's my problem? If it's getting 62 and 68, I don't have a problem. I bought it since. The important thing is we keep earning the dividends as they keep paying. So our job is to keep our eyes in the market so that if a company's performance is dwindling, then it signals us to sell so that you don't sit in a company because you knew it was paying dividend from the beginning, and then you are watching it declining, they are not paying dividend as well, the company is losing money, you are still there. No. That you hold it for life does not mean you should hold it throughout, even when things are going bad. So we see the quarterly results, which interprets to us the health of the company, whether to remain in them or not. As long as they are doing fine, remain there, we'll keep making money and collect dividends. Fine.
Perfect.
That's the way
Brilliant.
it works. That's how your friend, his father, was able to pass on all the stocks he bought to him.
That's true.
That's the
That's
way it
true.
works.
It's still on the process. It's still on the process.
I know it will not be easy, but it's going to be rewarding.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. We have come to
Thank,
to the
thank you
end
so
of this.
much.
I never knew it's already past 2 p.m. Thank you very much, Clean. Enjoy the rest
I'm
of your
sorry
day.
for the delay. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry we've come to the end of today's session. I've stayed here for over 2 hours and it's not easy. I will now have to go on to do other things for the day. But most importantly, we meet again tomorrow, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Nigerian time. As always, do not miss it. If you are not following me, you are losing money. Make sure you follow me here and on Instagram. And that's my Instagram handle as I sign off today. Remember, if I missed your question, it was only an error, and hopefully you bring it back tomorrow. But if you need to reach me outside here, feel free to reach me on Instagram for easy and quicker response at Wealth Coach Omiete. That's my handle, my Instagram handle at Wealth Coach Omiete. That's it there. Follow me on Instagram, send me whatever DM, and then we will surely respond and see you again tomorrow. Otherwise, join us tomorrow again, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Nigerian time. And we go ahead, you ask your questions early. Like I always say, when the program starts at 12 noon, start asking your questions so that you don't accumulate unanswered questions right there or carry over too many unanswered questions. I am here for you and hopefully we'll make money. Trust me, we will make money this year. See you again tomorrow. Thank you for all your efforts. Thank you.